In AP Psych, there are 5 primary ways to examine the brain, its structure, and its activity. Those 5 brain scans are EEG, CT scan, PET scan, MRI, and fMRI. The first one is the electroencephalograph. This measures brainwaves, electrical activity in your brain, and you can see here with the various waves that are being measured, whether alpha waves, beta waves, delta waves, etc. You'll see this a lot on sleep studies. But you can see that with the skull cap or with a lot of individual electrodes, they're just measuring up and seeing what electrical signals are being transmitted and how they're being transmitted in the brain. Then there's the CT scan. It used to be known as the CAT scan. It's computed tomography, and what it does is it uses X-rays to create a 3-dimensional image. And so again, especially with this one, you can see that it looks like an X-ray, but it also gets a nice view of the soft tissue as well as the denser bone tissue. Then there's the PET scan, the Positron Emission Tomography. And what they do is they inject you with radioactive glucose to see the glucose functioning in the brain. And so you can see here the whiter red with this particular one is going to be higher levels of glucose usage in the brain, and then the blue areas are going to be where there's going to be less activity in the brain. So they're looking at the functioning of the brain, where is it and where is it happening most. Then there's the MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, and it's using magnets and radio waves to see the structure of the soft tissue of the brain. And so this gives you a really nice view of the soft tissue, of the brain tissue itself. You can see the ventricles here on this particular brain in the upper right corner, and you can see the nice sulci and gyri in the outside of the cerebral cortex. So this allows you to examine 2-dimensionally and getting all sorts of photographs that are similar to X-rays but give you a much better view of the soft tissue as opposed to the hard tissue. And then finally, functional magnetic resonance imaging, and that is measuring blood flow in the brain. And so using a combination of the MRI along with glucose in the brain, you're noticing that here you see what parts of the brain are being used and how much energy is being expended in each one of those. And obviously you can make the 3-dimensional version down here. And so it's a great way to look at both structure and function of what parts of the brain are being examined. Now this little one of Homer Simpson here, that's just a fun little doodad that somebody created a number of years ago, and it pops up in virtually every brain project I've ever assigned for any of my students. So those are the brain scans, and I hope this little review helps.